The natural history of Earth encompasses the planet's evolution from its inception to the present day. Various fields of natural science have contributed to unraveling the significant events of Earth's past marked by continual geological transformations and biological progressions. The geological timescale, GTS, established internationally, illustrates the vast time spans since Earth's formation to the current era, with its subdivisions highlighting key occurrences in Earth's history. Forming around 4.54 billion years ago through the process of accretion from the solar nebula, Earth evolved through volcanic outgassing, leading to the formation of the primordial atmosphere and oceans, albeit with minimal oxygen. Intense volcanism due to frequent celestial collisions kept much of Earth in a molten state. During its early stages, a massive impact from a planet-sized body named Theia is believed to have given rise to the Moon. As Earth gradually cooled, a solid crust formed, allowing for the presence of liquid water on the surface. The Hadean Eon predates a reliable fossil record of life, beginning with the planet's formation and ending approximately 4.0 billion years ago. The subsequent Archean and Proterozoic eons marked the dawn of life on Earth and its initial evolution. Following these eons, the Phanerozoic eon emerged, consisting of 3 eras. The Paleozoic era, characterized by arthropods, fishes, and early terrestrial life, the Mesozoic era spanning the era of non-avian dinosaurs, and the Cenozoic era witnessing the ascendancy of mammals. Recognizable humans appeared a mere 2 million years ago, a fraction of Earth's geological timeline. The earliest unequivocal evidence of life dates back at least 3.5 billion years ago during the Earchean era, after the solidification of the geological crust post, the molten Hadean Eon. Fossils of microbial mats, such as stromatolites, found in 3.48 billion-year-old sandstone in Western Australia, provide physical evidence of early life. Further evidence includes graphite in 3.7 billion-year-old metasedimentary rocks in Greenland and remnants of biotic life in 4.1 billion-year-old rocks in Western Australia. The emergence of photosynthetic organisms between 3.2 and 2.4 billion years ago significantly impacted the atmosphere by introducing oxygen. Complex multicellular life evolved around 580 million years ago, eventually leading to the Cambrian explosion approximately 538.8 million years ago, which produced a wide array of life forms seen today. The vast majority of species that have existed on Earth, estimated to be over 5 billion, have become extinct. Presently, Earth hosts an estimated 10 to 14 million species, with only around 1.2 million identified, while more than 86% remain undescribed. Earth's crust and its inhabitants have undergone constant transformations since their inception, with species evolving, diversifying, and facing extinction in response to changing environments. Plate tectonics persist in shaping the Earth's land masses, oceans, and the diverse life they support. In geochronology, time is commonly measured in Maya, million years ago, with each unit representing roughly 1,000 years in the past. The history of Earth is categorized into 4 main eons, commencing 4,540 Maya with the planet's formation. Each eon marked significant alterations in Earth's structure, climate, and biological life. Following the eons are eras, which further divide into periods, then epochs. The first eon, Hadean, existed from 4,540 to 4,000 Maya, characterized by Earth's formation from solar protoplanetary disk debris, devoid of life. The environment featured scorching temperatures, intense volcanic activity, and a nebular atmosphere, with the potential presence of early oceans. The Moon likely originated from a collision with a protoplanet during this period. The Archean Eon, spanning from 4,000 to 2,500 Maya, witnessed the emergence of prokaryotic life through abiogenesis. Notable continental formations like Ur, Valbara, and Knorland might have existed during this time, with the atmosphere rich in volcanic and greenhouse gases. The Proterozoic Eon, occurring from 2,500 to 538.8 Maya, was dubbed early life, showcasing the rise of eukaryotes and the production of oxygen by bacteria, shaping Earth's third atmosphere. This period saw the development of plants, some multicellular organisms, and potentially early fungi, along with possible snowball Earth phases and the presence of ancient continents like Columbia, Rodinia, and Pannotia. The Phanerozoic Eon, starting from 538.8 Maya to the present day, heralded the dominance of complex life forms, particularly during the Cambrian explosion, which saw the rise of vertebrates in Earth's oceans. The supercontinent Pangaea formed and later fragmented into Laurasia and Gondwana, eventually giving rise to the current continents. Land life flourished, featuring familiar plants, animals, and fungi such as annelids, insects, and reptiles, giving the eon its name meaning visible life. The Phanerozoic eon also witnessed several mass extinctions, leading to the emergence of birds, mammals, and culminating in the evolution of modern animals, including humans. The solar nebula hypothesis explains the formation of the solar system, including Earth, as originating from a vast spinning cloud of interstellar dust and gas known as the solar nebula. This nebula consisted of hydrogen and helium from the aftermath of the Big Bang, along with heavier elements expelled by supernovae. Approximately 4.5 billion years ago, it began to contract, potentially triggered by a nearby supernova's shock wave, which also induced rotation within the nebula. This rotation, alongside factors like angular momentum and gravity, caused the cloud to condense into a flat protoplanetary disk perpendicular to its rotational axis. Subsequently, minor disturbances from collisions and the angular momentum of significant debris facilitated the formation of kilometer-sized protoplanets encircling the center of the nebula. At the heart of the nebula, where angular momentum was scarce, rapid collapse led to compression and subsequent nuclear fusion of hydrogen into helium, initiating the evolution of a T-Tauri star that eventually became the Sun. Meanwhile, gravitational forces in the outer regions caused material to clump around density irregularities and dust particles, leading to the separation of the protoplanetary disk into rings. Through a process called runaway accretion, particles of varying sizes merged to form planets. Earth took shape around 4.54 billion years ago, potentially completing its formation within a span of 10 to 20 million years. Recent studies in June 2023 proposed that Earth might have formed in a mere 3 million years, challenging previous estimates. The solar wind generated by the developing T-Tauri star dispersed much of the remaining disk material not yet consolidated into larger celestial bodies. This mechanism is anticipated to occur around most emerging stars in the universe, fostering the creation of planetary systems. As the proto-Earth grew through accretion, its interior gradually heated until heavy hydrophile metals melted, with denser materials sinking beneath the silicates. This iron catastrophe, occurring just 10 million years after Earth's inception, led to the segregation of a primitive mantle and a metallic core, laying the groundwork for Earth's layered composition and the eventual establishment of its magnetic field. Among other insights, Jacobs theorized the existence of Earth's inner solid core, distinct from the outer liquid core, which is believed to be crystallizing and expanding from the molten outer core due to Earth's gradual cooling process at a rate of about 100 degrees Celsius per billion years. The Hadean Eon marked the beginning of Earth's history, characterized by the planet's formation. Following this, the Archean Eon commenced at around 3.8 billion years ago. The earliest discovered rocks on Earth indicate an age of approximately 4.0 billion years, with detrital zircon crystals suggesting an even older age of around 4.4 billion years. It is theorized that a significant impact led to the formation of the Moon shortly after the initial formation of Earth's crust. This impact resulted in the ejection of mantle and crust material into space, eventually forming the Moon. The period known as the Late Heavy Bombardment, a phase of intense meteorite impacts, occurred roughly between 4.1 to 3.8 billion years ago, concluding the Hadean Eon. Despite the severe volcanic activity during this time, evidence from 4.4 billion-year-old zircon crystals indicates interactions with liquid water, suggesting the presence of oceans or seas on Earth during that period. As the Archean Eon began, Earth had significantly cooled. The lack of oxygen in the Archean atmosphere resulted in the absence of an ozone layer to block ultraviolet light, making it inhospitable for present-day life forms. However, it is believed that primitive life forms started evolving during the early Archean, with potential fossils dating back to around 3.5 billion years ago. Some scientists speculate that life might have even originated during the early Hadean, around 4.4 billion years ago, surviving in hydrothermal vents beneath the Earth's surface during the possible late heavy bombardment phase. Regarding the Moon's formation, it is proposed that the Moon originated from a collision between Earth and a Mars-sized body, often referred to as Theia. The collision released an immense amount of energy, causing the vaporization of outer layers of both bodies and leading to the formation of the Moon. The giant impact hypothesis suggests that the Moon's composition, depleted of metallic material, was a result of this process. The ejected material eventually condensed into the moon under its gravitational force, forming a spherical body. The geological processes during the early Archean, driven by mantle convection, were more vigorous due to higher mantle temperatures compared to present-day conditions. This led to faster tectonic activity, with more prevalent subduction zones and smaller tectonic plates. The initial crust that formed at the beginning of Earth's solidification disappeared due to rapid plate tectonics and impacts from the late heavy bombardment. The first pieces of continental crust emerged towards the end of the Hadean Eon, around 4.0 billion years ago, forming the foundation for cratons, which are the ancient cores around which modern continents developed. The oldest rocks on Earth, found in the North American craton of Canada, provide evidence of early crustal development, showing signs of high-temperature metamorphism and erosion by water, indicating the presence of rivers and seas during that time. Earth has undergone 3 significant atmospheric phases throughout its history. Initially, it possessed a light atmosphere with primarily hydrogen and helium obtained from the solar nebula. This atmosphere was eventually eroded by a combination of the solar wind and Earth's heat, resulting in the depletion of these elements in today's atmosphere compared to cosmic levels. Following the impact that led to the formation of the moon, volatile gases were released from the molten Earth, along with additional gases emitted by volcanoes. This created a second atmosphere abundant in greenhouse gases but lacking in oxygen. Subsequently, the third atmosphere, enriched with oxygen, emerged as bacteria started producing oxygen approximately 2.8 billion years ago. During this period, Earth's atmosphere, depicted as a pale orange dot in early renditions, likely resembled the hazy, methane-rich environment of Titan. The formation of the second atmosphere was initially attributed to the outgassing of volatiles from Earth's interior in early atmospheric and ocean formation models. However, it is now believed that a considerable portion of these volatiles originated from impacts during the planet's accretion phase, called impact degassing. This process involved incoming bodies vaporizing upon impact, contributing to the composition of the evolving atmosphere and oceans. The newly formed atmosphere probably consisted of water vapor, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and trace amounts of other gases. Water on Earth likely came from meteorites originating from the outer asteroid belt and planetary embryos beyond 2.5 astronomical units, with possible contributions from comets. As the Earth cooled, cloud formation occurred, leading to the eventual creation of oceans through rainfall. Recent findings suggest that the oceans might have started forming as early as 4.4 billion years ago, covering a substantial portion of the planet by the beginning of the Archean Eon. This early ocean formation poses a challenge known as the faint young sun paradox due to the sun's increased brightness over time. To address this paradox, it is theorized that a greenhouse effect was maintained by carbon dioxide and methane emissions, potentially aided by an organic haze resulting from methane breakdown. The presence of early microbes likely contributed to methane production, while volcanic activity could have released carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, helping sustain the necessary conditions for the development of life. The intricate interplay of atmospheric components and geological processes played a crucial role in shaping Earth's early environments, laying the groundwork for the emergence of life on the planet. Life across the 3 modern domains relies on DNA to store genetic information and a combination of RNA and proteins to interpret and execute these instructions for growth, maintenance, and replication. The concept of an RNA world arose from the discovery that ribozymes, a type of RNA molecule, could catalyze self-replication and protein synthesis, suggesting that early life forms were predominantly RNA-based. This hypothetical RNA world may have lacked distinct species, with individuals exhibiting varied genomes due to mutations and gene transfers. The transition from an RNA-dominated world to the current DNA-centric one is thought to have occurred due to DNA's increased stability, enabling the construction of longer genomes and broadening an organism's abilities. Despite the synthetic production of short self-replicating RNA molecules in labs, uncertainties persist regarding the natural non-biological synthesis of RNA. It is theorized that precursors to RNA, such as PNA, TNA, or GNA, or alternative replicators like crystals or even quantum systems, could have existed before the emergence of RNA. Hypotheses propose that early ribozymes might have been simpler nucleic acids and that porous metal sulfide precipitates could have facilitated RNA synthesis near hydrothermal vents. Another theory posits an iron-sulfur world, suggesting that the initial life forms were protein-based, with amino acids and peptides potentially forming near hydrothermal vents, assisted by metal sulfides. However, challenges arise in scenarios where metabolism precedes genetic replication, as the evolution of entities without individual replicative capabilities poses obstacles. Alternatively, the lipid world hypothesis suggests that lipid-containing membranous structures resembling cell membranes may have been the initial step. These double-layered lipid structures could give rise to liposomes, self-replicating double-walled bubbles, potentially creating an environment conducive to the formation of nucleic acids like RNA within them, eventually leading to the development of more complex life forms. Montmorillonite, a type of clay, exhibits characteristics that could potentially have facilitated the emergence of an RNA world. These clays can self-replicate their crystalline structure, undergo a form of natural selection where the fastest-growing species dominates a particular environment, and catalyze the formation of RNA molecules. While this theory is not universally accepted, there are active proponents of this idea. In 2003, research indicated that montmorillonite could accelerate the transformation of fatty acids into bubbles that could enclose RNA bonded to the clay. These bubbles have the capability to grow by absorbing more lipids and dividing, suggesting a potential mechanism for the early development of cells. Another hypothesis posits that self-replicating iron-rich clays may have been the precursors to nucleotides, lipids, and amino acids. The concept of the last universal common ancestor, LUCA, proposes that from the plethora of protocells, only one lineage persisted. The LUA is thought to have existed during the early Archean eon, possibly around 3.5 billion years ago or earlier. This cell, considered the predecessor of all current life forms on Earth, was likely a prokaryote with a cell membrane and ribosomes, but lacking nucleus and membrane-bound organelles like mitochondria or chloroplasts. Its genetic processes involve DNA as the genetic code, RNA for information transfer and protein synthesis, and the use of enzymes for catalyzing reactions. Some scientists speculate that instead of a singular organism as the last universal common ancestor, populations of organisms could have exchanged genes through lateral gene transfer. During the Proterozoic eon, lasting from 2.5 billion years ago to 538.8 million years ago, significant transformations took place on Earth. It was a period where cratons evolved into the continents we recognize today, and the shift towards an oxygen-rich atmosphere was a pivotal advancement. This eon was characterized by the development of life from prokaryotic organisms to more complex eukaryotic and multicellular forms. Notably, the Proterozoic era experienced severe ice ages known as snowball Earth events, which had a profound impact on the planet. Following the last snowball Earth occurrence around 600 million years ago, the pace of life's evolution accelerated significantly. Approximately 580 million years ago, the emergence of the Ediacaran biota set the stage for the explosive diversification of life known as the Cambrian explosion. One crucial event during this time was the oxygen revolution, a milestone marked by the Great Oxidation Event. This period also saw the development of photosynthesis, a process that enabled cells to harness energy from sunlight. The evolution of photosynthesis, particularly oxygenic photosynthesis, played a vital role in shaping Earth's atmosphere and providing the foundation for life as we know it. This process involved the conversion of carbon dioxide, water, and sunlight into energy-rich molecules through the synthesis of sugars. As a byproduct of this process, oxygen was released, ultimately leading to the accumulation of oxygen in the atmosphere. This shift had a profound impact on the planet, giving rise to the ozone layer, which shielded Earth from harmful ultraviolet radiation and allowed life to thrive on the surface. The sun's luminosity has been progressively increasing throughout the Archean and Proterozoic eons, with a 6% rise every billion years. This rise led to Earth receiving more heat during the Proterozoic eon, but instead of warming, geological records indicate a dramatic cooling during the early Proterozoic. Evidence suggests that glaciation during the Huronian Ice Age, around 2.2 billion years ago, may have been so intense that Earth was frozen from the poles to the equator, possibly due to a decrease in methane levels caused by rising oxygen concentrations in the atmosphere. The term snowball Earth is commonly used to describe extreme ice ages experienced during the Cryogenian period, with 4 periods of global ice coverage occurring between 750 and 580 million years ago. These ice ages, with average temperatures around 50 degrees Celsius, 58 degrees Celsius, may have been influenced by the supercontinent Rodinia being positioned near the equator. The interaction of carbon dioxide with rain to weather rocks into carbonic acid, washed out to sea, may have played a role in reducing greenhouse gases. The emergence of eukaryotes, including complex cells known as eukaryota, occurred around 2 billion years ago. The complexity of eukaryotic cells compared to prokaryotic cells like bacteria and archaea is a recent area of understanding. Fossil evidence suggests the presence of fungi-like organisms around 2.4 billion years ago, with the formation of the first proto-mitochondrion appearing soon after. This occurred due to a symbiotic relationship between a smaller, oxygen-metabolizing bacterial cell and a larger cell, resulting in the formation of mitochondria. Similarly, photosynthetic cyanobacteria entered large heterotrophic cells and evolved into chloroplasts. These events led to the development of cells capable of photosynthesis over 1 billion years ago. Various inclusion events occurred, contributing to the evolution of organelles like peroxisomes and cilia. The diversification and complexity of archaeans, bacteria, and eukaryotes continued, with multiple lineages evolving within each domain. Around 1.1 billion years ago, the plant, animal, and fungi lines had diverged, initially existing as solitary cells before forming colonies with division of labor. The first multicellular plants, likely green algae, emerged around 1 billion years ago, followed by true multicellularity in animals approximately 900 million years ago. This transition likely resembled modern sponges, with totipotent cells enabling disrupted organisms to reassemble. As multicellular organisms diversified, cells specialized and became interdependent, marking a crucial step in evolutionary history. Reconstructions of tectonic plate movement over the last 250 million years rely on fitting continental margins, ocean floor magnetic anomalies, and paleomagnetic poles. Prior to this time frame, due to the absence of ocean crust records, reconstructing earlier plate movements becomes increasingly challenging. Additional geological evidence like orogenic belts marking ancient plate boundaries and past flora and fauna distributions supplement paleomagnetic data, although interpretation grows more difficult and uncertain the further back in time one goes. Earth's history includes periods of continental collision, culminating in the formation and breakup of supercontinents. From approximately 1,000 to 830 million years ago, a significant portion of the continents coalesced into the supercontinent Rodinia. Before Rodinia, there may have been smaller supercontinents known as Nuna and Columbia in the early Middle Proterozoic. Following Rodinia's breakup around 800 million years ago, there is speculation about another fleeting supercontinent around 550 million years ago referred to as Pannotia or Vendia. This hypothesis is supported by the Pan-African orogeny, linking land masses of present-day Africa, South America, Antarctica, and Australia, and hinges on the separation of Gondwana and Laurentia. By the conclusion of the Proterozoic eon, most continents likely clustered around the South Pole. The late Proterozoic witnessed severe climatic fluctuations, including 2 snowball Earth events around 716.5 and 635 million years ago during the Cryogenian period. These glaciations, attributed by many to Rodinia's position near the equator enhancing chemical weathering and CO2 removal, significantly impacted global climates. Alternative theories suggest volcanic activity from Rodinia's breakup or greenhouse gas emissions played pivotal roles. Post-snowball Earth events, the Ediacaran period followed, marking a surge in diverse multicellular life forms. The emergence of new life forms, like the Ediacara biota, held significance with the origin of muscular and neural cells, paving the way for the eventual appearance of organisms with skeletal structures in the Cambrian period. The Phanerozoic eon began around 538.8 million years ago and comprises 3 distinct eras: the Paleozoic, Mesozoic, and Cenozoic. During this eon, multicellular life underwent significant diversification, giving rise to the vast array of organisms present today. The Paleozoic era, known as Old Life, spanned from 538.8 to 251.9 million years ago and marked the emergence of various modern life forms. It was a period of colonization of land by plants and animals, as well as the formation and breakup of supercontinents like Pangaea. Following the Paleozoic era, the Mesozoic era, referred to as Middle Life, lasted from 251.9 million years ago to around 66 million years ago. Characterized by the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous periods, this era began with the Permian-Triassic extinction event, leading to a significant loss of species. The Mesozoic era concluded with the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event that famously eradicated the dinosaurs from the planet. The Cenozoic era, denoted as New Life, commenced approximately 66 million years ago and is further divided into the Paleogene, Neogene, and Quaternary periods. These periods are then subdivided into smaller segments such as the Paleocene, Eocene, Oligocene, Miocene, Pliocene, Pleistocene, and Holocene. It was during the Cenozoic era that mammals, birds, amphibians, crocodilians, turtles, and lepidosaurs evolved into the forms we recognize today, following the extinction event that ended the reign of the dinosaurs. The tectonic activities during these eras shaped the Earth's land masses significantly. The supercontinent Pangaea existed from approximately 300 to 180 million years ago before breaking apart into Laurasia and Gondwana. The movement of continents resulted in the formation of mountain belts, like the Caledonian orogeny and the Uralian orogeny. These collisions gave rise to supercontinents like Laurasia and ultimately Pangaea, which later fragmented into the continents we know today. The Cambrian period marked a significant acceleration in the evolution of life, known as the Cambrian explosion. During this time, 542-488 May, numerous new species and phyla emerged, filling the ecological niches left vacant by the extinct Ediacaran biota. This period of biological flourishing was unparalleled both before and after in terms of the diversity of life forms that appeared. By the end of the Cambrian, most modern phyla were already established, with the development of hard body parts contributing to the preservation and fossilization of many organisms. Notable advancements included the appearance of animals with shells, skeletons, or exoskeletons, such as mollusks, echinoderms, crinoids, and arthropods like trilobites. The Cambrian also saw the first vertebrate animals, including early fishes like Pikaia, which exhibited a primitive notochord that could have led to the development of a vertebral column. As life forms continued to evolve, the colonization of new environments drove an increase in body sizes, with fishes like the titanic placoderm Dunkleosteus reaching lengths of up to 7 meters. Despite these evolutionary developments, the diversity of life forms was periodically impacted by mass extinctions, leading to cycles of repopulation and evolution in continental shelf regions. Transitioning to land, the accumulation of oxygen from photosynthesis facilitated the formation of an ozone layer, providing protection against harmful ultraviolet radiation. This environmental change allowed unicellular organisms to venture onto land, with prokaryotes adapting to survive outside of water. The colonization of land by multicellular organisms began with the emergence of Devonian flora, following the formation and breakup of the supercontinent Pannotia. Notably, plant and fungi fossils dating back to 480-460 MI suggest an early presence on land, with molecular evidence indicating even earlier colonization by fungi and plants. The expansion of terrestrial habitats supported the diversification of life, with arthropods appearing on land around 450 May, exploiting the resources provided by the evolving plant life. While the exact timing of animals leaving the oceans remains uncertain, indications of arthropods on land as early as 530 subsame hint at an ancient history of life transitioning from aquatic to terrestrial environments. At the conclusion of the Ordovician period 443 million years ago, additional extinction events unfolded, potentially linked to a concurrent ice age. Some 380 to 375 million years ago, the first tetrapods emerged from fish, transitioning fins into limbs for better navigation of shallow waters and access to oxygen. Subsequently, these creatures developed the ability to breathe air, enabling survival in oxygen-deprived water and pursuit of prey. With time, they began venturing onto land periodically, eventually adapting so well to terrestrial life that they spent their adult lives there while returning to water to lay eggs after hatching. This marked the emergence of amphibians. Roughly 365 million years ago, another wave of extinctions occurred, potentially due to global cooling. Around 360 million years ago, plants evolved seeds, significantly enhancing their spread on land. Approximately 340 million years ago, the amniotic egg evolved, offering an advantage to tetrapod embryos by allowing them to thrive on land. This development led to the split between amniotes and amphibians. Around 310 million years ago, the divergence of synapsids, including mammals, and sauropsids, encompassing birds and reptiles, took place. Dinosaurs originating from their reptilian ancestors after a severe extinction event roughly 230 million years ago became the predominant terrestrial vertebrates throughout a significant portion of the Mesozoic era. Subsequently, following another critical extinction event 200 million years ago, which spared many dinosaurs, these creatures rose to dominance among vertebrates. Although some mammalian lines started to diverge during this period, existing mammals likely resembled small shrew-like animals. The boundary between avian and non-avian dinosaurs remains ambiguous, with Archaeopteryx often considered one of the initial birds, living around 150 million years ago. During the Cretaceous period, evidence of angiosperms evolving flowers emerged around 132 million years ago. The history of mass extinctions reveals significant events. The first major extinction, the Ordovician-Silurian extinction, resulted in the loss of 60% of marine invertebrates and 25% of all families, possibly triggered by extensive glaciation of Gondwana, leading to a snowball Earth. The late Devonian extinction, the second mass extinction, saw the demise of 70% of all species, purportedly caused by the evolution of trees impacting greenhouse gas levels or water eutrophication. The Permian-Triassic extinction, or the Great Dying, wiped out around 57% of all families and 83% of all genera, possibly due to a confluence of catastrophic events. The Triassic-Jurassic extinction event decimated almost all synapsids and archosaurs, likely due to increased competition from dinosaurs. Finally, the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event resulted from a colossal asteroid impact, leading to the extinction of 75% of all life on Earth, including non-avian dinosaurs, marking the conclusion of the Cretaceous period and the Mesozoic era. The evolution of mammals took place alongside the dominance of dinosaurs and archosaurs during the late Triassic period. Primarily small and likely nocturnal to avoid predators, the first mammals saw significant diversification following the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event. As the Paleocene era began, Earth started to recover from the aftermath of the mass extinction, leading to a surge in mammalian diversity. Notable transitions occurred in the early Paleocene as creatures like Ambulocetus embraced the oceanic lifestyle, eventually evolving into whales, while primates sought refuge in the trees. A pivotal moment in mammalian history unfolded during the mid to late Eocene period with the formation of the Circumantarctic Current disrupting global weather patterns. This shift saw the rise of creatures like Andrewsarchus, the largest terrestrial predatory mammal known, and early whales like Basilosaurus dominating the seas. The spread of grasslands in the Miocene epoch further transformed Earth's landscape, prompting mammals to grow in size. Iconic species like Paraceratherium and Dinotherium evolved to rule the grassy plains, marking the appearance of many modern-day mammals. The evolution of grass also influenced the descent of primates from trees, ultimately sparking the trajectory of human evolution. The closure of the Tethys Sea due to the collision between Africa and Europe marked a significant geological event, while the formation of the Panama Land Bridge proved crucial in allowing fauna to migrate between North and South America. The Pleistocene epoch, commencing 3 million years ago, ushered in dramatic climatic shifts, leading to the evolution and expansion of modern humans in Saharan Africa. The Ice Ages reshaped landscapes, allowing for the emergence of grassland-dependent megafauna. The resulting changes, such as shrinking water bodies like the North Sea and the Bering Strait, facilitated the migration of various species, including camels, horses, and Native Americans across Beringia. The development of Homo erectus, with the ability to control fire around 790,000 years ago, marked a significant advancement in human evolution. This milestone, possibly predating Homo erectus, showcases the early mastery of fire by hominids like Homo habilis, shaping the course of human history. The origin of language remains a complex topic, with uncertainty surrounding whether Homo erectus possessed speech or if it was a trait that emerged later in Homo sapiens. The expansion of brain size led to earlier births, allowing for increased plasticity and a longer learning period for offspring. As social skills evolved, language and tool development became more intricate, fostering cooperation and intellectual progress. Homo sapiens are believed to have originated approximately 200,000 years ago in Africa, with the oldest fossils dating back to around 160,000 years ago. Neanderthals were among the first to exhibit signs of spirituality through burial rituals, while more sophisticated beliefs emerged with early Cro-Magnon art, around 32,000 years ago, indicating potential religious significance. By 11,000 years ago, Homo sapiens had reached the southern tip of South America, marking the conclusion of uninhabited continent exploration. The transition to agricultural societies between 8500 and 7000 BC in the Fertile Crescent marked a significant turning point in human history. Farming allowed for sedentary lifestyles, leading to population growth and the rise of civilizations. The surplus food generated by agriculture enabled the development of specialized occupations, with the emergence of priestly classes, governance structures, and advanced societal divisions. The advent of writing further propelled societal complexity by facilitating record-keeping, knowledge transmission, and the growth of cultural institutions like libraries. The pursuit of knowledge and wisdom drove the advancement of various disciplines, including the nascent form of science, enabling the rise of larger and more complex civilizations and early empires. Western civilization's foundations were laid in ancient Greece, characterized by democratic governance, profound philosophical and scientific advancements. The influence of Rome with its legal, governmental, and engineering progress also significantly shaped the course of Western development. Christianity played a pivotal role in Western civilization, particularly following Emperor Constantine's Christianization of the Roman Empire in the early 4th century. In the 7th century, Islam emerged as a dominant religion in Western Asia, leading to significant cultural and intellectual achievements in the Islamic Golden Age. The subsequent division between the Roman Catholic Church and the Eastern Orthodox Church in 1054 marked a cultural divergence between Western and Eastern Europe. The Renaissance in the 14th century in Italy sparked revolutionary advancements in art, science, and religion, challenging the political authority of the Christian Church. The exploration and colonization of the Americas marked the beginning of immense transformations globally. The subsequent periods of the Scientific Revolution and Industrial Revolution in Europe, from 1500 onwards, heralded a shift towards increased global influence and dominance, characterized by colonial expansion. The Age of Enlightenment in the 18th century contributed to the secularization and intellectual progression of European societies, shaping modern thought and ideologies. The world's future remains a mystery, with no certainty regarding which ideology or perspective might guide the next steps. The channel refrains from asserting any definitive path. Instead, it seeks to offer an interpretation of existing knowledge about the world by drawing from a selection of curated sources. The creator hopes this effort will foster a collaborative understanding that enhances collective insight.